We just had a little off-air conversation about something. But hello, Bros Who Binge fans. Thank you, Schubert, for tossing to us. We got Lyn Reg in the building, like we said before, but this will be more consistent now because Reg is in the summer and I have my work schedule situated. When there are movies that Schubert can't see, me and Reg will review them. And today we are reviewing Into the Spider-Verse. I will put our little brief conversation from Bros Who Think in this so you can get Jazz's thoughts. But Reg, you know how we review things. We go through it.
Yeah.
We discuss what we like, what we don't like. We have some categories. So initially, what's your initial thoughts?
Like I said in our
and it's not Spider-Verse. It's I keep calling it Spider-Verse 2. It is Across the Spider-Verse.
It's Across the Spider-Verse.
I'm gonna say the right name.
Yeah, okay. Like I said in our previous discussion, like I think that this is, if not the best Spider-Man movie I've seen, it's number 2. Like I love this movie. For me, Miles Morales is the most relatable character because like it's hard for me to relate to the Tobey Maguires and Andrew Garfields, but I still love their films. But I'd say overall, this is it's a leader in animation, it's a leader in film, and there's a reason that these kind of films should almost win Oscars.
No, for sure. I look
for the way that it's
the animation. Told. Like, there's no reason why this is not best animated film of the year. Like, there's no reason why it's not. It should be. What they did changed the game in animation. I go back to, because people are going to say, is this the best animated superhero movie of all time? And I can't say yes, because I go to the original game changer, which changed the game, which is Batman Mask of the Phantasm. When Mask of the Phantasm came out, it shows you, holy shit, we can tell deep in dark stories within animation, and what it did on how shifting animation with noir themes, it was revolutionary. Just like today, the way that Across the Spider-Verse utilized animation along with American animation, that Samurai Jack animation, it took basically the best anime. It took Samurai Jack, it took Justice League Unlimited and Batman Mask of the Phantasm and Batman Beyond, and it fused all of the best animation to give us this new form of animation. And it's going to revolutionize. People will now start doing the Across the Spider-Verse style, just like when Mask of the Phantasm came out, people started to do Mask of the Phantasm style.
And I'll agree with that 100%. I think that this will start the new revolution in animation, because I just saw this video a couple days ago. It's like in the early 2000s, late 90s, we had the Pixar photorealistic version, and everyone was trying to be so close to like real life.
Well, they got that. They got that because of Mask of the Phantasm. Though.
Yeah, but it started to tail off whenever they couldn't tell compelling enough stories like Bolt, which probably would have looked better if it was shot in the Across the Spider-Verse style.
Yeah,
but now we're gonna see more comic book style films and things of that nature.
Also, the thing is, they stopped telling compelling stories. They relied on the animation, and that's the thing that you can say Toy Story, Batman Mask of the Phantasm, and Spider-Verse all did. It was like, animation does not have to be solely for kids. We can tell adult stories within animation. Batman Mask of the Phantasm was presented as, oh, this is for kids, but it was for adults. Spider-Verse is presented as, oh, this is for kids, but it's for young adults who are growing up, getting into their adult age. And it's also for adults. Like, this is not, I wouldn't consider this a kid's movie. There's no way I consider
it's a movie.
Yeah, it's just a movie. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Also, in terms of superhero films, when you look at the lexicon, it is up there with the Batman, with Mask of the Phantasm, with Into the Spider-Verse. When we talk about the best superhero films of all time, this movie's up there. Red said this is his favorite Spider-Man movie. For me, when I talk about the best Spider-Man movies of all time, it's Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 2, and this one. I can't put them in 1, 2, or 3, but those are the top 3. When I talked about it with Schubert when we recorded Bros Who Binge, I had Into the Spider-Verse #1, Spider-Man 2, and Across the Spider-Verse 3. Today, I feel Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, then Spider-Man 2. It alternates because they're all great films. The reason why I have the first one over this one is the first one was more of a tight-knit story. It was complete. The story was complete. This is Miles' story, where this one is, it's not Miles' story. It's all of the Spider-Verse characters' story, presenting an idea of loss and presenting an idea of trying to be your real self. We see that through Gwen, we see that through Miles, we see that through Spider-Man 2099, and we see that through Jake Johnson's Peter B. Parker because of his growth from movie 1 to now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had anything to say about that. We just chatting right now before we get to the things.
Yeah, no, I would also say that, like, although it isn't as focused on Miles, I still feel like there's a big emphasis on Miles.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
I could say this is more Gwen's story than Miles in this one specifically.
This is what I'll say. The first 30, I'd say it's a Gwen story, but the next hour and some change, I'd say that it's Miles, because at the end of the day, Miles is the anomaly. Which
he's the main character. No, for sure.
He's the main character.
Then when you see it ending, though, it ends with Gwen getting closure with her father,
the circle,
and then her saying, "Hey, I'm gonna go save Miles." So then the next one's fully gonna be about Miles, because he's battling himself essentially.
Yeah.
Which I think is very interesting. He has to battle himself and overcome to be the best Spider-Man he can be. Instead of the metaphorical battling himself, he's gonna battle himself physically, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah.
So I'm super, super excited about that.
Yeah, excited for Beyond the Spider-Verse. Comes out next year, actually. Early next year, too.
And the reason why this took so long and they delayed it because they did them back to back. They filmed everything in one go. Yeah, that's why we're getting it so soon, because of the writer's strike. We wouldn't have got it if they didn't. Oh, yeah,
we wouldn't have got that till
even though the animation department is separate from the writer's strike. That's why we can still get animated movies, because the animation guild is its own thing. So even if it wasn't filmed all together, we would have got it sooner than a lot of live action. But the thing is, they filmed it all at one time. Now, in terms of the story, let's get into some of the story beats. What did you like about it more so than the first one that makes this your overall number one Spider-Man film in terms of story?
What makes it is because of how relatable every Spider-Man was. And it wasn't just a film about, oh, here are a bunch of Spider-Man. It was, these are individual stories that all have a central theme in not belonging anywhere, yet having to be everywhere. And so I found that through line very compelling. And it was honestly just good to understand every other Spider-Man and their motivations, and how it all culminates in Miles' story, and the fact that everyone's been chasing Miles this entire time. And he's just been oblivious to everything.
I would say, in terms of benefits story-wise, why this is such a good film is, seeing the dynamic of Miles. He's grown up, seeing the dynamic of him having to realize, hey, just because I view the world as this rose-colored place, it's not necessarily that. Just because your parents love you and you get a good life at home doesn't mean everyone will treat you like that. It took me, I had to learn that in real life. Reg and I have a very great family, very similar to Miles' family, and how we love each other. We take care of each other. We make sure no one suffers. If someone needs money, it doesn't matter. We take care of our family. Physical things are replaceable, but family's not. That was what our grandpa would always say. But they always want to teach us that just because we're like this doesn't mean not everyone is like that. The world is like that. Yeah, and I thought that was beautifully executed in this movie, because on the flip, we see Gwen, just because she's Spider-Woman, her dad wants to shoot her. Her dad values his job more than he values his family, and that would never happen in Miles' family, and that would never happen in our family. But it just goes to show people are different. Yeah, it shows people are different.
Also, it being different universes, there are different motivations. And so I think also Gwen's world was a commentary on capitalism and how an old Da Vinci came in and destroyed a modern art museum, and how, even though it's an anti-materialistic story, but I also think
that dimension is very materialistic and very job-focused.
But also, like, what was good about it was they were different. They weren't just America in a different setting. They all had their different styles. And it was overall, the movie was one of the most beautiful films I've seen in a long time. Oh, yeah.
Also, technically, like, I saw one of the animators talking about how Hobby is, so basically when you animate, it's
different stickers.
1, 2, 3, 4. And you animate everything in that sequential order. But the thing is, when Hobby's on screen, he's on 2, 4, 6. And that's why it's revolutionized, because people have never done that. And that's why when he moves, it looks very different than the others, but that is intentionally.
It's delayed.
It's very technically sound in the way that they did that. Now, any other story points that we get before we get to best characters, best scenes, best fights, anything else? Because we're not going to, there's no point in running through the story scene by scene. That's not effective. What's more effective is us talking about the best points and then getting to the categories. We're trying to retool the review style. So
another big thing I wanted to say is I like how like it poked at canon, and how in the culture of superhero movies now we say canon and things of that nature, especially with DC trying to rewrite the canon. And I like how like it essentially said in Miles' story is canon doesn't matter at all.
Well, actually, I kind of disagree. I think it does poke at canon. It's not saying that canon doesn't matter. It's saying that the canon that was presented
doesn't define you.
We don't agree with. And the directors are like, we don't agree with this canon. We're going to make our own. We're going to take that what they've given, and we're going to alter it to be our own. For example, I love that this whole story is Spider-Man has to suffer to be a good superhero. That has been canon. In Spider-Man with Peter Parker, they make him suffer more than Batman. Like Batman is made by his suffering, but he isn't always
reminded of his suffering.
Yeah, he's not reminded of
it.
And
it's not as necessary.
And he's not determined by his suffering. Where Peter, it's constant. Recently, in the most recent arc before this writer, there was a writer who's like, I'm going to make Spider-Man happy. I'm going to do everything I can. Put him in a dark place, but we're going to make him happy and show that Spider-Man can be a happy person. And him and Mary Jane got married for the first time in forever. This new writer said, fuck that. Made Spider-Man, him and Mary Jane get a divorce. He made Spider-Man gets cheated on and turned Peter into a cuck. Basically, his whole thing is Spider-Man can never be happy. And this is Phil Lord and Chris Miller saying, no. Spider-Man can be happy, and we don't have to be locked down to canon for it to be truly Spider-Man.
He doesn't always have to get Mary Jane to always be happy.
Or he doesn't have to experience death to be Spider-Man.
And I'll say it's almost like it's not about like finding yourself within canon. It's creating yourself.
It's creating your story.
Follows it.
Yep, exactly. It's you're in control of your story.
Yeah.
You control fate. Fate doesn't control you. I think that's and you see that with I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I think it's Pravantar Parter, or hold on, I'm gonna get it. Let me see. I'm gonna get it. Pavitar Prahabkar, which is basically the Indian Spider-Man. I loved how Pravitir Prabhabkar, I'm just gonna call him PP.
Pravi.
I'm gonna call Pravi. Yeah, Pravi's story is great because it shows he was the start of it. Of hey, I don't have to, have these people die for me to be a true hero, and I can save everyone. And Miles allowed him to do that, which I thought was beautiful. Whereas Miguel is like, no, we have to follow fate.
We have to follow canon.
You cannot alter fate. You have no choice in life. Whatever the fate is, that's what you're determined by. And he's driven mad by it, which I think is very interesting. I'm very intrigued if there's going to be someone mind controlling him, or if he changes his thought process by seeing people determine their own fates. Whichever one they go with, I'll be okay, because I need Spider-Man 2099 to be more like the comic.
I think you just don't want him to be a villain.
He's not, though, in the comics.
And you asked me that question, and
he's such a good character, man. He's such a good character.
The answer is not yes or no.
I hate how they portrayed him.
He's neither.
I understand he's neither, but I hate how they portrayed him, because in every media version before, Spider-Man 2099 is one of the best heroes of all time.
I think you just want a badass.
He's Marvel's answer to Batman Beyond, and they are the versions of their characters who are better than Peter Parker and Bruce Wayne. They are.
So it's like Superman Gold?
No. They're the epitome of learning from their predecessors' mistakes, and they become great humans. Like, that's their thing. Terry is like, yeah, I went through bad stuff, but I don't have to be like Batman, constantly sad, constantly depressed. I can be a symbol of hope.
Well, maybe that's Miles Morales' Spider-Man.
I guess that is, but I just wish 2099 got
Oh, you just want it to be 29 times.
Well, yeah, because that's his character. That's his story.
We're breaking canon.
I understand.
We're breaking canon.
All I'm saying is that's the one thing that I didn't like about this is the portrayal of 2099 because he's a good character. Also, something I liked is how Hobby Brown down for the cause.
Brown was a dog. Hobby Brown was a dog.
When we talk about we'll get to best characters, but this is a story beat. He was down for the brothers, whereas what's her name? Issa Rae. Spider Woman, she was a coon.
Well, there's multiple Spider Women. You're talking about Issa Rae.
Jessica Drew, Spider Woman. That's her character. She was a coon. This one.
Okay. No, I don't think. Oh, I thought you were talking about the girl, the AI girl who. No, she was also down.
She was down with the cause too.
She was down too.
She let Miles go, and
she did let Miles go.
I believe in you, Miles. It just so happened that he didn't know that it wouldn't send him to his Earth. It sent him to his DNA, which is Earth 42, which I think is brilliant. I think that was brilliant writing of this is how we're gonna leave the cliffhanger
because he forgot that no Spider-Man existed in his universe.
Well, no, they did. It was Peter Parker. It was the original one.
No. In his
in 42,
so his 1610, there's no Spider-Man.
No, there is. He died. It's Peter Parker.
No, Lynn.
What are you talking about?
The spider that bit Miles in 1610 is from Earth 42.
Yes.
So in Miles' real world, there was supposed to be no Spider-Man.
You're saying in Earth 42, there's no Spider-Man.
There's no Spider-Man. Yes.
Okay.
There's supposed to be.
It sent him to Earth 42. I thought you were saying in Miles'
No.
Yeah, I was like, huh?
Okay.
You had me confused for a second. Yeah, that's why I said. That's why you got to say in Earth 42.
Yeah, I got to say in Earth 42
because that's the spider. That's where he's from. But yeah, she was a coon. She was drinking the horchata. She was not down for the brother. That's just me joking. I'm not being serious, but I just thought it was very, in terms of like, it showed how in real life there's African Americans who are like, no, I have to follow the system or things will get fucked up. And there's other African Americans who are like, nah, fuck this. We ride with our brother.
Hobie is a born this shit, forced to white kind of guy. Hobie really does not care.
Anti-capitalist, anarchist.
Everything.
Yeah, he's an anarchist for sure.
Hobie and the baby are the only people who understand each other.
Shout out to Peter B. Parker's his daughter. Yeah, Mayday Parker. She is amazing. Also, I thought Ben Reilly was hilarious because in the comics he's super depressed because he's a clone, and I'm excited to see in the next movie because I'm assuming he'll be a part of the team that they fight. I want to see more interactions from him. Any other story points before we get to the categories?
I think we can go straight to the categories.
All right, let's get it.
Hold on. One more story beat. We forgot to talk about the evil of this episode.
Spot
was goated. Spot was goated.
He is a good villain. I will say, after getting the Sinister Six, you have to scale it back. I understand. And it's perfect for the multiversal thing because he can travel
the multiverse.
I will be honest, I want to see more from him in the next movie. I need to see more battling between Miles and him to where Miles gets a real fight and a real villain. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if, there are more villains in the next one in the sense of things fun, but it will be better because we'll know he fights himself in the Prowler. All I'm saying is there wasn't as much fights in this one, but it was set up. I understand why you couldn't get the fights.
Yeah.
So also I like the fact that Spot is the ex of Dr. Octavius, and he went crazy because he lost his wife, which I thought was,
he lost his face as well.
That as well. True. So Spot, I will say, if every character, if Miles gets a 10, Gwen gets a 10, Hobby gets a 10, Miguel gets like a 7, Spot gets a 7 from me.
No, I think Miguel gets like an 8.5. All right,
I'll give Miguel an 8. But Spot's getting a 7. He gets an 8 because I didn't like his story, but he was a good character nonetheless. That's why I'm giving him an 8.
You forget that like Spot was your typical once a week villain.
Oh yeah, no, I understand, and I get it. 7 for me. But let's get to the categories. What is your best scene?
I'd have to say the best scene is when Hobie looks at Miles while he's trapped in the
bubble
cube, and he tells him to use his palms after he previously told him to use his palms. Beautiful.
Yep. And that kind of ties into my best scene because he does it. But it's when Miles is all the spider people up on the train this is such beautiful animation.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Miguel has him, and he's like, I'm so sick of y'all telling me what's my story. I create my story. And he kicks Miguel, and he flips back, and he falls with an African-American teen with so much swagger. I have review. But as he's falling, it's beautiful. You see all the spider people coming up, Miles coming down with the train, beautiful animation, pitch blue, perfect skies. And that was just an amazing scene to me.
Yeah.
And it ties into yours because he got to use his electric pulse to get Miguel off of him. All right, let's get to best character of the movie. This is different from who won. We'll get to who won the movie, but who best character of the movie.
Okay.
If you want me to go, I can go.
Yeah, you go first.
I think best character of the movie is different than who won. I think who won is who had the best portrayal and who ended up being someone that we love. I think best characters who had the best story told around them. So who had the best story told around them is Gwen to me. Gwen Stacy is best character. Silk, is that her character? No, Silk is not her character's name.
No,
it's Spider-Gwen. Yeah, Spider-Gwen is best character to me.
Okay. I'd have to say also Gwen, because Gwen, we finally understand this Gwen's motivations at this point.
And she became a different character than she was at the beginning of the film.
Yeah, she was this very pessimistic person,
doubting her ability.
Usually lived on her, and also
she was like, whatever fate gives me, I'll accept because the world sucks. I can't do anything to change it.
And she even mentions that whenever her and Miles have that conversation on that Chrysler Tower thing, and she's like, in every universe, Gwen is with Peter, and she doesn't get a Peter. And so,
she lost her Peter. Yeah.
She lost her Peter, her Peter died.
And she feels that, the world's out to get her, and she has no control over it. But by the end, through Miles, she realized, no, we can write our own destiny. Yeah. That's why, for me, she gets best character.
I'll have to give her best character.
Now, who won the movie? I got Hobie, baby. Hobie Brown. He won the movie. Not only did he say, fuck this, Miguel, what you're doing is wrong. He saves Miles. He teaches Miles how to be a better Spider-Man.
He saves Gwen.
And he gives the teleportation device. That's a winner if I ever saw one.
Yeah, look, the thing is this, Hobie is like the 7th or 8th guy on the bench, and then he comes in and drops 45.
Yeah,
the first, and then just dips
and leaves. And he did it well. They don't win a championship without him. He's more important than a 6-man. He's I'm trying to think of a real life basketball comparison of this guy changed the fundamentals.
Jamal Crawford.
He's Ray Allen. When Miami won the championship against the Spurs. Miami Ray Allen. He came in, knocked big shots, but when LeBron and D-Wade needed the most to win the finals, Ray Allen had to hit that shot. Otherwise, they wouldn't have won the finals. If Hobie Brown doesn't give Gwen that portal thing, or tells Miles, they lose. And Miles gets prisoned in all of this. So, Hobie Brown. All right.
Now, Hobie needs a story, in my opinion. Because I want to know, this dude.
This is going to be Miles' last movie is the next one, but they're going to continue animation. I'm assuming Gwen's going to get one, and we'll see Miles again. But I think we'll get a Hobie movie or TV show. That's what I'm thinking. Because they're talking about doing spinoffs for both movies and TV shows. I don't think Hobie will get a movie, but I think he'll get a TV show. So, which, I mean, also, if his Funkos sell well and his merch sells well, then that will say, because I think now the fan love for him requires a TV show, but if we show more love, he'll get a movie.
Also, do we realize that Hobie or Hobie Brown is just a black Sex Pistol?
Pretty much.
Pretty much. It was hilarious. He had the whole accent and everything.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. All right, worst character, and this is different than who lost the movie. This was genuinely just the worst character in the story, and I'm sorry, I'm going with Jessica Drew Spider-Woman, Issa Rae Spider-Woman.
She was just pregnant.
Worst character in the movie. She had no balls in the sense of...
She had no depth.
No depth. She didn't have any conviction. She just went whatever Miguel said, even though she knew it was wrong. Worst character. Who's your worst character?
Spider-Horse.
Oh, why?
Because all it did was be a horse.
Wow, you hating on that? Didn't know. Oh my gosh.
I'm hating on the horse. Now, if we want to be real, a character who I feel like needed more was the AI Spider-Woman, the girl
Oh,
behind the
but I
who
can't say
did the
she's the worst though. I agree she needs more depth.
okay, yes, she
But she
helped
was still
Miles.
she was a
She
good
did help.
character though. She was interesting.
She's interesting, but also Jessica Drew is interesting, but she just didn't
I
get
don't
anything.
know. I don't think she was
Like,
interesting.
I'd like to know, like,
She had no
why is
redeeming
she on a
qualities for
motorcycle? Why
me.
is she okay? Look, but I
Whereas
think you also have to
AI, it's
understand.
like, why were you sitting there like, oh, do you have powers in your real world? Or is the AI the power? Like, I'm so intrigued by her. But this
But
is
the thing
each
also,
person's
but
opinion.
what we forget about Jessica Drew is that like there are some black people that think that like
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. That
the
follow the
system,
system.
the system
Yeah.
equals freedom. So we can't always say, oh, she might have known what was going wrong, but maybe she didn't really have a
She
choice
didn't,
in that situation
yeah.
to be ostracized from the group. Because remember,
And
if
she
she
wanted
breaks
to
from
accept it.
Miguel,
Yeah.
now all the Spider-Men are after her.
No, true. And she's
And
pregnant.
she was
No,
also
yeah.
a good protector of Gwen because she gave Gwen chances whenever she could have turned Miguel in,
True, true,
put her
true,
into
true,
Miguel.
true, true, true. I'll accept that. Spider Horse, your worst character.
Spider
Mine
Horse is horrible.
is Jessica Drew, aka Spider Woman, aka Issa Rae's character. Now, the character who lost the movie for me, even though at the end he gets redeemed, it's still Gwen's dad. Gwen's dad is the loser of the movie because he lost his job, and it took him losing his job to reconnect with his daughter. And he could have kept his job, still been a good policeman by just listening to his daughter and understanding, hey, Peter Parker was in the wrong, not your daughter. But instead, he wanted to be, stand by the shield. Well, you lost your job and you're the loser of the movie. You're lucky you didn't lose your daughter. You was this close.
Yeah, look, I'll agree that Gwen's dad is the loser of the movie, but also a niche loser is the homeboy who owned the bodega at the very beginning. Because
Oh,
he just got
yeah.
his ATM and everything ran through
He got
by
his shit
Spot.
punked. Yeah.
Just absolutely destroyed.
I like that. That's a good one. Okay, sixth man of the movie. Let's go. Let's get the starters. The starters are
Miles,
Gwen, Miguel.
Miguel.
Are we saying Spot because he's a villain?
Spot as a villain, and
All right.
then
And who's the last one? Jessica?
I don't think Jessica doesn't do much. I'd
All
have to
right.
say
Who you say is the other star? Is someone who does a lot, who's
is it
matters.
Peter B. Parker and his daughter?
It's either that or Miles' parents.
Or we could say Hobie, because Hobie is going to be a six man if we don't.
Let me say this: Hobie does not have enough screen time to justify a starter. Miles' parents have more screen time. Honestly, Gwen's dad has more screen time, and you could say Peter B. Parker has more screen time. I'm okay if we say parents squared. Yeah. That covers
parents squared.
Miles' parents and Gwen's dad is the final starter.
Okay, yeah, then parents squared are the final starter.
So, all right, six man obviously is Hobie for both of us.
Hobie.
But I'm gonna say Pravi is an excellent six man as well. I'm gonna give Pravi some love.
Yeah, I'll give.
Because I loved his character, bro. The way that he used the bangles at the end of his spider rope to like hit people and also to hook things on, I thought that was very smart. And then I loved his line of, "Bro, why do y'all call it Thai or chai tea?"
Oh yeah, well, Thai tea. It's just chai is tea.
So I'm gonna say Hobby is our choice nonetheless, but I'm gonna say Pravi, he deserves. I'm gonna say Hobby / Pravi 6
Hobby Pravi. Okay.
Since Hobby already won winner of the movie.
Oh, yeah, let's see.
Who you got? Give me your 2 6 men because I know it's Hobby. Do you have anyone else?
Yeah, let's see.
Or Hobie, whatever it is.
Hobie. I don't remember which one it was. Oof. Who else gets a good amount of screen time? Oh, well, then it has to be Peter B. Parker. Peter B. Parker and Mayday Parker. Because they're a unit, in my opinion.
Okay, so Reg's six man is Hobby / Peter B. Parker's and Mayday, and mine is Hobby / Pravi. Okay, dope. Best fight of the movie. What you got?
Best fight of the movie? Gwen and the Leonardo da Vinci vulture in the museum.
Nice. That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. Let's see if there's another fight. That's why I don't choose.
There's Peter and Spot whenever his parents are sitting, like get his grades. Yeah. And he's like talking with that counselor. There's this fight with Spot, the early fight.
I'm about to see real quick.
You could say the train fight.
Yeah, with all of them.
Even it won your best scene, or just like whenever, or through the Spiderverse headquarters fights where he's fighting all the different Spider-Men.
I'm gonna say Pravi, Peter, Gwen, and Hobby versus spot in India or in whatever the New York version is.
Mumbai Hatton. It's called like Mumbai Hatton.
Mumbai Hatton. I think that was a great fight, but honestly, the best fight is the one you said. I just want to give a different answer than the one you had.
The one at the headquarters is actually really
Leonardo
cool.
da Vinci one is great.
Yeah,
that is the best fight. The train one got my best scene, which is a good fight, but I thought it was more so of an escape than a fight. Mm-hmm. Whereas yours is a fight, and then the one in Mumbai Hatton is a fight. Yeah, Miles is escaping, essentially. He's not really fighting them, and they're not really trying to hurt him. Whereas in both instances that we gave, they are trying to hurt the person that's across from them. But honestly, I think the best fight is Gwen and Miguel in Spider-Woman versus the Vulture. Yeah, that is great. But shout out to Pravi in Mumbai Hatton. That's a good one. Okay, what else do we have? I will say the soundtrack, Metro Boomin, great job.
I love how they use like a bunch of different music styles because Miles at its core is just a big hip hop head, and they had like a bunch of.
They used R&B, they used Latino, they used reggaeton. Yeah, it was awesome, and they used rock when they were showing 2099 because it's futuristic punk type shit. I love that.
And they used British new wave music whenever it was Hobie.
Yep, and then they used Bangladeshi Bollywood.
They used Bollywood beats.
Yeah, when it was Pravi. So all right, and then the final category, since this is a Spider-Verse movie, who was your favorite Spider character not named Miles? Or Gwen, because they're the two.
Gwen?
Yeah.
Then I'd have to say Hobie.
All right, okay.
I love Hobie's anti-capitalist.
All right, but we're talking about designs in the way that
design?
And then the way that they fight. Yeah, we're not talking about character motivation.
Like design? Then
how they look, and how they fight.
Pravi.
Because Miguel has the claws.
Miguel's the claws.
Priming. Jessica had the bike. You saw the Spider-Man on the horse, who is a gunslinger. I'm talking design in the way they fought. That's
design. I'll go Pravi. Pravi throws like the gold rings,
the bangles, man.
Yeah, those are cool.
All right, just to say a different answer than you, because I said that I love that about Pravi, which is incredible. I'm gonna go
2099's a little bit of a cop out.
Is it? Because I like his electric bands.
He's essentially Tron. He's Tron.
Well, he's Batman Beyond. That's what he is. I'm going with 2099 because he had the claws. His things turned into like wings, and he would glide. And then he had the laser webs. Yeah, I'm going 2099. That design is badass, and the way he fought was incredible. But that's pretty much everything, unless you can think of anything else. Oh, a rating. What do you rate it out of 10?
Actually, I have it officially because I'm doing the summer film festival thing. I have an official rating.
Okay, what you got?
So Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and I also reviewed this for Cinemark. It got a 10.0.
Oh, a 10 out of 10.
Wow. It's actually the second perfect 10 I've ever reviewed for a movie.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a solid 9.35. 9.35. It's a great movie. It could, if I watch it again, it could maybe get up to a 9.5. I don't give 10s because 10s have to be special. I didn't even give the Batman a 10. The Batman got like a high 9.6, 9.7, and that to me is the best comic book movie of all time. This one falls between. Actually, I'm gonna give it a 9.45 because it
some people say like since the movie isn't complete, it shouldn't get a 10. But I say actually I like that they didn't finish. I'll say
this in terms of a cliffhanger, and we know we have to get another one.
Yeah,
I like how they ended it more than Infinity War. Because I don't know how they're gonna come back. I knew that every single Marvel person
was coming to fight Thanos.
With this, I don't know what happened. So I'm more intrigued to how they left it than Infinity War's ending, because that always rubbed me the wrong way. But 9.45, 10 for Reg. That's our rating. Reg, tell the people they can follow you on social media.
You can follow me at Reggie.Brito on Instagram.
Hell yeah. Y'all go follow Reg. And with that, let's toss it back to Schubert to finish up Bros Who Binge.